R.I.P. to Johnathan Price.
Rest in peace. Talk to him.
So Johnathan Price is a young black man. I think he was 31, 32 years old, lived in Texas, and unfortunately he was murdered on October 3rd. I think the day was last Saturday. So today is the 10th. Last Saturday he was murdered by a white cop. Unfortunately, we have to talk about stuff like this because it just is what it is. And I mean, something for me is like we hear these stories and we don't realize it's a person behind this. And I was reading the article and they had like the memorial thing for him, and I'm like, fuck, yeah, sure. People get outraged, we loot, we act crazy, we demand more. But I don't think sometimes we take the time to realize like, yo, it's someone out there that's dead now. Like someone's actually dead. Someone's actually going to be buried in a few days because this happened. And I think it was unfortunate because, you know what I mean? Someone died because of bullshit. And if you read the story, it goes, he was actually breaking up a fight in a gas station. Broke up a fight with two people, and those two people left. Apparently they were together, maybe like a domestic dispute kind of situation. The cops came and he stayed there because he probably was the one that called the cops, and the cops came and he walked up to the cop and was like, hey man, you good? And the cop was like, hey, you're drunk. I'm going to arrest you. Number one, if he was drunk, okay. That's not breaking the law to be drunk, right? In public. That's not is that like a law? You can't be drunk in public?
Yeah.
So that I don't and they put that in the affidavit, which was like the written story of what happened. I don't know what the fuck him being drunk has to do with anything. The cop tries to detain him. He's like, hey man, I shouldn't be detained. What am I being detained for? The story goes, the cops start tasing him. It escalated that quickly. And another reason why we have to be thankful for the footages, and when these footages come out, that's why there's such outroar. Because there's two things in life you can use to paint a picture. You can use an actual picture or a video, right? Actual visuals or words. And they're equally as powerful. Because until 100 years ago, words is what painted all the pictures unless you were visually seeing it, right? When you heard about everything, you read it in a book and that painted the picture for you visually. The issue with words is you can manipulate the picture, right? Unlike a video, you see what you see. Someone could come tell you a story that happened, but they can put a little falsehoods in it, drop a little gems to distort what actually happened and have you thinking completely different. With one little fact, one little nugget that they dropped in there. And when I read that story, I'm like, hey, it's a little things in there to kind of throw us off the scent that this was just a brutal, ridiculous murder. But whatever. He said he tried to tase the guy. It wasn't effective. The guy reached for his taser. And I'm waiting for the video to come out to see what that looks like. And he shot him 4 times. Just that simply, in a gas station. Shot him and killed him. And obviously, it's nothing positive out of that. The one positive thing I would say is that immediately he was charged for murder. Like 2 days later, he was charged for murder, and a day later, he was fired from his job. And I think now he's arrested, being charged for murder, bail set at $1 million. And if there's any silver lining to a story like that, it would be that cops got away with this kind of stuff for the past 100 years with no sort of accountability. That's what happened. That's the story you give us. Okay, walk free and go do it again. All right, it's a black guy. No one cares. How black people turned up for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, all the riots, they seen that it's going to affect the bottom line. They're acting quick now. And I think that's the silver lining. And unfortunately, the way that things work in life is that cops who have this deep-rooted racism, and it doesn't make the story any better that it's a big white guy from Texas and a black guy. Already, that paints us a picture of racism, right? Big white guy from Texas shoots a black guy for no reason. It actually makes it a little bit more racist. Like, you automatically get that feel to it. Action is taken swiftly. He was charged with murder right after it, fired from his job, and that's a silver lining. And I was saying, like, those situations aren't going to end right now. But because black people took the time to go riot, the time to do things, right? And show people, listen, we're not going to accept it anymore. people are going to be held accountable, thrown in the fucking back of the jail, and then maybe 10, 15 years from now, cops coming up are just going to understand, listen, we're not just going to shoot and kill black people because there's a price to be paid. And I think that's a silver lining of the story. Obviously, you understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, this guy is dead, you know what I mean? And it's sad because we hear all these stories and we think, oh, it can't happen to me, or what are the chances it happened to me? I'm sure this guy, Johnathan Price. He's seen the George Floyd situation. He's seen a bunch of other people, and it was interesting. Actually, on his Facebook, he was talking about I support Black Lives Matter, but I also support Blue Lives Matter because I have family that's in the police enforcement and stuff like that. And I know that they're not all bad. He wasn't thinking that this was going to happen to him. Just like me and you don't think it's really going to happen to us. But we know that it just takes one person. It takes one bad situation and it could fucking happen. So,
one bad situation.
Unfortunately, man, R.I.P. to Johnathan Price. What do you think?
Yes, rest in peace to Johnathan Price. It's a sad story. And this is the talk that your parents have. Parents have to their kids that this is how you need to act when you're out, so a situation like this won't happen. And sadly, this gentleman did everything right, and now his life is taken away for doing everything right.
The article actually said he was not violent until the point that he was shot.
Exactly.
No violence at all.
No violence at all. He did everything right, and now look what happened to him. This is the price to pay. This is the price to pay as black parents when their kids go out. This is what they're scared of. This is the talks that they have with their kids before the kids go out. You understand?
Yes.
So this is why it's so sad, because no matter what, if you keep doing the right situation,
you play your cards right, and you still
end up dead. I remember one day, this was when I was very young, and I'm at my grandfather's house, and there's a park right there, and there was these two cops in there, in the park, and some mom's yelling, "Get my kids out the park! Get them out the park! Get them out the park!" And I'm thinking, what is she talking about? Like, why is she wilding? Like, the cops are here, and for that reason, because her mindset is like, they don't care about you. They just see you as another black person. You understand? And that, and sadly, in 2020, when we talk about algorithms, only looking at the gentleman, only can imagine what he be seeing on his side of social media. You understand how he portrays black people. So it's just a sad story, and you understand why people act the way they act towards police officers. Why parents say. And when I say act towards police officers, don't take out context of being disrespectful and everything. You understand?
But they're cold and standoffish towards them.
Say that again?
They're cold and standoffish towards police officers.
Yes, but I'm also talking on the side of like just being 10 times more respectful.
Yes.
You understand? In that situation too. So like the whole attitude towards it. You understand? You get the positive and the negative with it. That's what I'm talking about. The whole
that's what my mom always taught me coming up. Treat a cop like a government official, like a pope. You know what I mean? They have a lot of power, right? Do. And they might be wrong in the way they use the power, as this guy was. I wish I knew his name, but fuck him. I don't care about his name.
Exactly.
Treat him with respect, because sure, if they do something fucked up to you, we're going to condemn them and they're going to go to prison as they should. But your life might still be lost.
Yes.
So don't take the risk. And
don't take it out of context. We're not talking about, what we're talking about now is not for that situation I went on.
No,
that gentleman
not at all.
Johnathan Price did everything right. Right.
Yeah.
But this gentleman here is a savage.
A savage.
Disgusting savage.
An animal, as you said before. He's a fucking animal.
An animal. You don't do that.
His attorney,
Johnathan Price attorney or?
No, the cop's attorney. I don't want to say his name.
Yeah.
He said, Price did not claim to be uninvolved innocent party before Lucas attempted to detain him. Like, that somehow validates this man being shot 4 times in the torso, close up. Didn't have a weapon. Never said, oh, I thought he had a weapon. You're tasing him and you shoot him 4 times. Where's the logic? How does let's say he was drunk. Let's say he was involved in the situation. Let's say he was involved in a domestic violence situation. What's the difference? What's the difference?
Nothing.
There's no difference at all.
And you still shoot him.
And you still shot him. So I think, man, there's nothing to be said. I'm just thankful that we've seen to make strides in the sense of people are finally being held accountable for the fuck shit they're doing.
Yes. And that's what we were talking about earlier, just those little steps.
Yeah, absolutely. Preach, we're out of time, right? 10 more minutes. Yeah.
So those little steps, you know what I'm saying? Those little steps of people doing what they're doing now, look, 24 hours.
24 hours.
You got to go.
Gotta go. You out of here, and you're being charged for murder, and you lose your job.
Yep.
So
everything that comes with it.
And I
hope he had a family too.
He definitely had a family.
I hope he did, because they gonna pay the repercussions too.
Absolutely.
You know,